And the reason for that is for the purpose of why we're all here. Dr. King. I can say so many different things in how this man has inspired the world. Not only myself, but obviously the world. But I'll be remiss before I move on to say how each and every one of you inspire me. Now, you may say, well, how is that possible? When I look out into the audience, what I realize, you have people from different backgrounds. Doesn't matter where you're from. Everyone is here sharing the same common goal. We want change, and we want people to do better, which means if we want people to do better, we have to do better ourselves. But we're here this morning to do that. So please, once again, give yourselves a round of applause for that. I want to just piggyback off of a few different things. I normally don't write notes, but for this occasion, I jotted a few down. A few years ago, when I was at this university, and God knows it was a tremendous blessing. Don't burn the house down when I say this. I made the mistake of attending Pittsburgh. So, out of high school, I wound up going to the University of Pittsburgh, and I was a big Tony Dorsett fan, okay? I knew at the age of 7, I told my mom where I was going to go to school. I said, Mom, I'm going to go to Pitt. I'm going to own my own business, and hopefully I want to have the opportunity to give something back, you know? So at age 7, my mother, thank God for her, she was in the kitchen cooking, and I really wish I would have paid better attention because I can't cook on the leg. But anyway, I remember saying to her, Dorsett was playing, Pitt was playing Notre Dame. He had over 300 yards rushing, and I go running into the kitchen. And my mom was the type of woman where she would stop, no matter what she was doing. She wanted to make sure that you were the most important person in the room at that time. So she stopped cooking. She came out to our little dinette set, and she said, what's going on? What's all this hooping and hollering about some Dorsett? Who is Tony Dorsett? So I was trying to explain to her who he was, right? I said, Mom, I love the gold and blue uniforms and the big P-I-T-T on his helmet. She said, the P-I-T-T on his helmet? What are you talking about, boy? So she sat down and watched a piece of the game, and she said, wow, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. So at age 7, I said, I want to go to that school. She said, okay, well, let's sit down and let's talk about a few things. You may not know this, but we're on welfare. So I don't know how we can fit that in, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. The blueprint was formed at that table. My mom sat down and she helped me to navigate a system of how to put things together to move forward in my life where it's going to make sense and click. So we talked about a blueprint. Academics, work ethic, being able to stand on your own 2 feet and do the things necessary to be successful. So what does that mean? She said to me, listen, you're going to have to work harder than you've ever worked before. It has nothing to do with the sports part of it. It's more the academic piece. Because if you're not a student first, how are you going to get into college? I said, you know, Mom, that makes sense. Okay, that's one piece. Now that you are a good student, and you want to get a scholarship to go to this school or whatever school you want to go to, in this case it was Pittsburgh, okay, what do you need to do as a student athlete to put that all together to get to that point? So that was at the age of 7. A few things happened, and I want to say this. There's a family that from Jersey City, woman from the deep south, migrated to the north. She had 7 children, 5 boys and 2 girls. Back in 1970, there was a huge house fire. It burned down 3 homes. There was a 9-year-old girl and a 4-year-old little boy in that house. The 9-year-old girl made a decision to save the 4-year-old boy. House burned down. People died in that fire, including the 9-year-old girl. The 4-year-old boy was saved. This woman then went on to bury 5 of her 7 children. When I think back on that, what's more astounding is the fact that that woman was my mother. That 4-year-old boy is me. That 9-year-old little girl was my sister Janessa. And she made a conscious effort that day to do something that obviously I'll never forget for the rest of my life. She saved my life. So there's a reason why I stand before you, and I'm proud of who I am, because I'm living for two people. Everything I've ever done in my life, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party, never drank a day in my life, I don't know what beer tastes like, never drank. God willing, I'll be 54 next month. I attribute everything I've ever done in my life to my sister, because had it not been for her, I wouldn't be here. So I look at these things as a blessing from God, but also as a testament to my mom as to what it means to be driven and to go through the adversities, the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs that this woman has endured in her life. God called her home in 2008. And I will never forget the conversations my mom had with me back, when I was a little guy, all the way up until when God called her home. There were things that she put and instilled in me that, when I think back on it, it resonates with who Dr. King was and currently still is. And the reason why I say currently still is because we're here today because of this great man. So there's a few things I want to get into. There were 5 quotes, so many quotes from Dr. King, but I want to talk about the 5 that I wrote down that really hits home to me. And the first one is intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. And when I look out in the audience and I see a whole bunch of young faces, I really want you to stop and think about that. When we talk about character, we talk about integrity, we talk about the trueness of what academia and education really is. It's really learning how to navigate life for yourself. I'm gonna say it again. It's really about learning how to navigate life for yourself, because comprehension is an interesting thing. I can say something to you 15 times. It may not resonate to you what I'm saying to you. Somebody else can say the same exact thing and you can respond to and understand it immediately. So make sure that when you are going out and you're listening to someone, take the information, the important pieces of that information that really relates to what you need out of it, and then move forward with your own blueprint. Very important. Young people, it's very important to do that, because when I was coming up, once again, I didn't have that one person to tell me, especially in my community, which I'm going to touch on in a minute, to tell me, listen, you need to do this, this, and this. What I did have, it wasn't just one person, there was a group of people to say to me, listen, you have an opportunity to do something special. And we don't want you to get caught up in A, B, and C. So we're going to give you a pass. Okay? And what that meant was, for those who was doing things that wasn't exactly right, they didn't want me to get caught up. So they gave me a pass. And they would tell me, if we catch you doing something over here that's far right, and we know that your mom didn't raise you that way, we're going to get you ourselves, because we see that you have the potential to make it. So I got that pass, and I thank God for that. The second quote that resonates with me with Dr. King, it's, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, faith. Let's talk about faith for a quick minute. If you think about all the things that you want to accomplish in your life, right? And you don't really know, because it's fine if you don't really know what you want and you're young and you're trying to figure it out. But if you have the faith to just walk out there and say, you know what, I'm going to achieve this particular goal. This is one of my quotes. Success is all about the completion of a task. All right? Success is all about the completion of a task. Doesn't matter how big or how small. And I'll give you an example. If I woke up this morning, thank God that I did, and say, I'm going to help 3 people across the street. And I do that. It's a simple goal. But guess what? I did help 3 people across the street. So I'm successful in that one task. Now, imagine if you took that and you did it 100 times in other things that you do. It's really that simple, but we kind of forget the bigger piece. It truly is having the faith to follow through with what you decide to do. Mm-hmm. And again, that's something for young people. It's kind of hard because of the peer pressures and all the things that's going on. You want to do this, and this is really good. And you may have a few people over here to the right saying, man, come on, dude. Why you get my father to go and take 100 shots in the gym? Come on over here and let's go party over here. that may not fit what I really want to do. So you have to be strong enough and have the faith in your own convictions, to stand on your own personal convictions, to do the things necessary that's going to allow you to be successful in your future. Mm-hmm. This third one really resonates. I have decided to stick to love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's a lie.
That's it right there.
That's a lie.
That's it.
What we're dealing with in society today and across this world.
Have mercy.
It's so hard to really understand. Why not love?
Why not?
Why not love? It doesn't matter, listen, green, black, purple, orange, yellow, it doesn't matter. Why not simply love? The old adage, can't we all just get along? Yeah, we should be able to get along because you know what? God made us all equal. But see, Dr. King, it's interesting. When he wrote this quote, I'm sure he wrote it from the place of strife, the place of serious personal convictions with what he was seeing around the world, which allowed him to really sit down with his pen and say, I got to do something and say something so profound that years later it's going to speak all by itself. That quote speaks to me as many of his other quotes, but that one quote speaks to me because we don't seem to understand that. Right now, currently in our society, we're hit with so many different things, and it's taking your mind off the most important piece, which overall is love, because love triumphs all. Mm-hmm. In darkness, you click the lights come on, you get to see. Hello. If you don't turn the lights on, you will remain in the dark. How many people can navigate the dark? I see pretty well, but I don't think I can navigate the dark. Think about love. If you see someone and you're trying to help that individual and you love them despite all the things that's going on in their life, you love them despite the color of their skin, you love them despite the trials and tribulations that they're dealing with, you are going to be an impactful piece to that person's life. Once again, if you did it one time and you taught somebody something because you love them, you now send them out to also show love, which is so much more impactful than hate. So much more impactful than hate. This fourth one is also, and they're all amazing quotes. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Yep. We speak. I think sometimes, I'm in the music entertainment industry, my wife and I, for the last 24 years. And I get a chance to tour a lot, and I thank God for that. I get a chance to be around a whole bunch of impactful, influential people. And sometimes I think they miss that one piece about being able to use your platform to speak on things that you really should speak on. Yeah. We're silent on things that you really should speak on, and then we're boisterous about things that we really shouldn't speak on. And it's interesting to me because I'll look at certain individuals and say, my dude, you might want to say something about that. And then I'll look and say, well, I don't know if you should have said anything about that. So it kind of goes both ways, but what I do understand, this particular quote from Dr. King is interesting. If you want to change the narrative, you have to change your way of thinking. And if you want to change a narrative, you then have to be in the forefront of that change, right? So once again, we go back to the whole love piece. The person that's in the front of anything gets hit first. Let's understand that. So it's hard to say, I'm going to stand in front of this person and get slapped in the face, and I know I'm going to get slapped in the face, but I'm still going to put myself out there and I'm going to stand in front of this person anyway. That's hard to do and it's hard to say, and I understand that. But if you really want to navigate and you really want to have productive and positive change, then that's something that it comes with the territory. This last quote, which is one of my favorites, and if you know it, please say it with me. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. That is one of my favorite quotes from Dr. King, because it speaks volumes about who we are as human beings. It speaks volumes about who we are when it comes to positive and productive change. I have another quote that it's in one of my books, and it's all about perspective and being able to give something back and being productive and impactful to those that are around you. So it doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter what's in your bank account, doesn't matter what you drive, doesn't matter what you live in, doesn't matter where you live. If you really want to be productive and help other people, then you become that change that you want to see in others. And that's not always easy, as I just said. Today, being here means to me that my years on this campus and at this wonderful, I love West Virginia University. You have no idea how much I love this university, because when I transferred here, I came here, like I said, from Pittsburgh, and my oldest sister had died. She had an aneurysm of the brain, and she passed my freshman year when I was at Pitt. And it hit me so hard, because I watched my mom, like I said, bury 5 of her children, but my oldest daughter, her oldest daughter, which is my oldest sister, we were so close. Out of all my siblings, my sister and I, we were so close. So when I got that phone call that she passed, I didn't know how to handle it. So when I decided to transfer from Pitt, I came to West Virginia, took my visit here. There was an older couple, never forget it, right on High Street. They spoke to me for 2 hours during my official visit. They took me in as if they were my grandparents. We sat and for 2 hours, we didn't even talk about football. You know, it's interesting. God gives you what you need.
Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily what you want, but what you need, because he knows what you need.
Right.
That day, I really needed that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew then, you know what? This is where I need to be. Because it's not about me being a great running back. It's not about me being a football player. It's about me being a human being. And these people took me in and sat me on this week, like I said, literally 2 hours. I will never forget that. That was symbolic with what it was when I came to this university, and how the staff, the great fans, this entire state embraced me. They opened their arms to me. And it's been that way for the last 30 some odd years. This is the reason why I love West Virginia so much, because I understand, once again, I kind of understand the bigger piece to the whole. There's always pieces in what we do, the bigger piece to the whole. I understood that, and I'm so grateful to be here today because of that reason. There's other people that drive that point home. My good brother, if you don't mind, I'm gonna put you on the spot, but Eric Murphy. We talk sometimes about certain things, and it's all about service and service of others, and what's happening, you know, with the Center for Service and Learning. It's amazing, because that's something that it speaks volumes to me. I understand what service is all about, right? Service is not about receiving all the time. It truly is about giving. And when you open your heart enough to give to somebody else, once again, you're becoming impactful, because you are lifting that person up to say, I don't want anything in return. I don't. I just want to give to you, and here's the piece. If I give to you, I want you, like a ladder, to go out and give to somebody else and start to navigate every rung on that ladder. As a business person, I give a lot of opportunities in the music industry and the entertainment industry as a whole. I will tell anybody, listen, I don't want nothing from you. If I give you this opportunity, do me a favor. I want you to pay it forward. The same way I gave you this deal, you got an 80-20 split on the deal that we did, whatever the case may be, you go and give the next person the same deal. Don't bring them in and say, okay, I'm going to give you 20%, and I'm going to keep the rest. No, I want you to do the same thing and pay it forward. Because I do believe if we're able to do that for somebody else, once again, you're talking about helping one person who will then go off to help another person, who will then go off to help another person. Before you know it, 100 people have been helped. And that's truly what service is all about. I'm an individual that I love to give. I would rather give than to receive. But again, my mom taught me that. Looking at Dr. King's legacy also taught me that. My wife, and I know she's going to kill me. When we first met, I'll never forget this. there were some things that, you know, as all young people in here, I'm going to talk to the guys now. You young ladies, y'all can laugh at this because it's the truth. When you first meet someone, you kind of introduce the representative. Right? You kind of introduce the representative, and you throw the representative out there. And you know, guys are laughing because y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You throw the representative out there, and the representative looks good. He looks good. He sounds good. He smells good. The representative is all of those things. That package is tight. Fellas, don't get mad at me because y'all laugh because you know I'm telling the truth up here. That package is tight, right? Then all of a sudden, that young lady, after about the third date, she starts to realize, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Where's the representative? Wait a minute. Okay, Joker. The first date, you know, this was this, and everything was good. Second date, that was pretty cool. The third date, you even paid for the check. I don't know who this is on the 4th, 5th, and 6th day. Now, you got to go and explain to your parents about the 4th, 5th, and 6th day because the representative is now gone and the real person sits before you. And guess what? That's fine. I'm going to tell you why that's fine. Most women will accept you for who you really are, even if you would have showed them who you really was in the beginning. That's a fact. They're going to accept you for who you. My wife accepted me, and let me tell you something. Whew. Okay. She was able to see the potential in me probably before I saw it in myself, and I'm man enough to say that. And I love her so much for that. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. We've been married, thank God, for 26 years. It'll be 27th in April. We have a beautiful son, Brandon. He's coaching at Susquehanna University. We're very proud of him. He actually attended West Virginia. He was part of Dana Holtz's first recruiting class back in 2012. So we're very proud of that. But my point is about the whole representative piece. Just be who you really are.
Absolutely.
Because here's the key. The core of who you are, if you put it out there in the universe, guess what that's going to do? It's going to attract other people with the same core. And that means core values. That means things that you guys have in common and young ladies have in common. That means the things that you can also take forth and say, you know what? We have these in common. Who knows? Let's graduate. Let's build something together. Let's build a company. Let's build a corporation. Let's build something together. Let's then go out, and that whole service piece comes full circle. Let's go out and impact our communities in a productive manner. Let's go out and do something that will forever change this community in a productive manner. I grew up in Jersey City, Marion Garden Projects. Tough area, like any inner city. We have our struggles. We've had our struggles. We continue to have our struggles. But I love where I'm from because it made me who I am, right? So, doesn't matter where you're from. People talk about this all the time. Doesn't matter where you're from. The importance of community and service, in order to change the narrative, you must be driven to change the way you think. Very true. I have an idea about what I believe driven really is, right? Be driven to be the best person you can be. Be driven to be successful in whatever that is. Be driven to complete a task, whatever that is. Be driven to go to school and say, you know what? I'm going to leave this university, go out into the world, and be impactful in any which way that I possibly can to change somebody else's outcome. That's powerful. Because what does that mean? It's not about you. It's about somebody else. If God blessed you to be able to navigate this university, God bless you to wake up every morning and say, I'm going to make a difference, then go out and make that difference. I was told that once this is over, there's a few hundred students, is that correct? There's a few hundred students that's going out? About 130 students going out to impact this beautiful community in a productive way. That is incredible. Please clap for that.
Yes.
That is incredible. I'm sure Dr. King, this is something that this man stood upon. This is one of his beliefs. It's one of his dreams to say, anytime a human being has the ability to make change in somebody else's life, then this is really what it's about. This man gave the ultimate sacrifice. You didn't think that he knew what was going to happen? I'm sure he did. I'm sure Dr. King had a foresight. He already had a vision. If I'm looking to change the world and people's thoughts and how they view other individuals, I may not be here too much longer. I'm sure this man knew this. But yet still, he gave of himself to make that change. That is impactful. It's powerful. We're all here today because of this man. And I'm hoping and praying years down the road, you young people that are here at this breakfast will do the exact same thing as far as don't be afraid to step out on your own and start to create your own legacy. I have a question. By a show of hands, how many people woke up this morning in their heart and said, MLK basically gave his life for us? Not necessarily, not necessarily you giving your life, but I know today is going to be the day that I'm going to do something impactful for someone else. How many people woke up with that in their hearts? I'm going to raise my hand on that. Okay, and that's honest. Thank you. And the reason why I say that, I realized coming here today, the over weekend, my wife and I got in town yesterday. I was so excited to come here this morning because it was something I wanted to leave with my young people, right? Here's the key. Life is interesting, right? Success is, don't think about the monetary success that you're going to gain. Think about the imprint that you're going to leave that's going to be your legacy. The question is, what's your legacy going to be? What drives you with your legacy? I teach special ed for 22 years. I'm a BD teacher in the Linden School District. I love what I do, love my kids. I tell them that every single day. I do something called critical thinking. Critical thinking is to help them think critically when they're upset. So we break things down from the top to the bottom. And I do it every single day. Every morning, we do critical thinking on the board. And I want to know from them, what do you want to do today that's going to be different than yesterday? We do it every day. So now it becomes second nature. So when they get upset, they already know, okay, well all right. If I do that, Mr. ain't going to be upset. Let me not go out there and act like that. Let me get myself together. Because if I do it, I'm going to have to come back and listen to more critical thinking. Right? So my thing is, I don't care what it takes. I'm all about the solution. If you're going to do the right thing because you don't want to hear me talk about critical thinking anymore, and you didn't do anything next, we good. That means that point was driven home. I can respect that. But my question to my young people, when you go out to impact this community and other communities, and where, if you're not from West Virginia, whatever state you're from, I want you to take that same exact drive, that same exact blueprint, that same exact message to your community. Because God knows, when I graduated from WVU, I did the little professional thing for a minute. I went to Wall Street. And what impacted me with going to Wall Street was, Wall Street tycoons that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars and billionaires, they didn't care about anything else other than the bottom line, the fiscal bottom line. So what I learned from them was, you know what? I'm going to take this and navigate this a little bit differently. I'm going to switch this up a little bit. Here's my bottom line. How many people can I impact in a productive way when I go back to my community? That was my bottom line. So I took the narrative that they had fiscally and said, no, this is going to be a moral code for me. How many people could I help to show them the way? If I got this, I want you to have this. If I got that, I want you to have that. Not, well, I got this and that, I don't want you to have nothing. That's not the right mindset. So my young people who are about to graduate, some of you who already graduated, but you're doing, I call it God's work. I really do. I call it God's word. Because again, it stands on the same premise that Dr. King stood for. What can we do to invoke change? And that's really what this is all about. I'm going to end with this, and again, it's interesting, and it's a tribute back to my mom, because how many people in here, young or old, had the kind of parent or the kind of mom that when she looked at you under or over them glasses,
Look.
you understood what that meant? Right, show a hand.
Right here. That's, I think, everybody.
Yeah. Okay. My mom had this non-verbal communication thing down to a science. You know, and she would tell me, Eugene, don't cross that street. All right, Mom. The minute she get out the window, where's Eugene? Across the street. Right? And my brother, my older brother, would come to me and he would say, Mommy is going to kill you when you get back in that house. Right? Here's what's funny. My mother would sit down with me first, looking over them glasses. And she didn't say anything for about 10 seconds. And in my head, I'm counting, boy, this is going to be, She wouldn't say nothing for 10 whole seconds. When she get on me, oh Lord. But she would say, let me ask you a question. How long have you known me? And I'm like, oh, go through the, oh yeah, well, yeah, 13 years now. Okay, have you ever known me to not do what I say I'm gonna do? And the key was, I know what's about to happen. Could we talk a little bit more before it happens? You know, could you impress upon me a little bit more of the things I should have followed, the rules I should have listened to before we get into what we're going to get into? And she would break it down for me and begin to explain. The reason why I want to end with that point.
Oh, God.
Young people, listen. Before you make a decision, look in the mirror. Let that reflection be how your parents raised you. Before you make a decision, look in the mirror and allow that reflection to be how your parents raised you. And I guarantee you, some of the things that you may want to do, that might stop you from doing it. To this day, like I said, God willing, I'll be 54. I think about everything I do, as if my mother was still here. And sometimes it's like, well, I didn't do it. You know, it's one of the things that will keep you on the right track. And if you're around people who don't have those type of parents, unfortunately, because we were all raised differently, then you become the guiding light to help them, to influence them to make those decisions. When I didn't drink or smoke or party in middle school, high school, college, pro ball, whatever, and currently, there's a lot of my friends who stopped drinking and smoking. Good. Which was interesting to me because I didn't tell them, listen, you do what you do, that just doesn't work for me. Just because I wasn't doing it and they wanted to hang out with me, they stopped doing it. But part of that was, once again, looking in that mirror for myself and saying, this is not how my mother raised me, this is not who she wanted me to be, and I'm not going to be that. So in closing, do me a favor. Everyone, and again, thank God, and I want to thank you for having me here today. It means so much. Please keep in mind what this day is all about, and it's not just this day. Please keep in mind what this man meant, currently still means, will always mean, until the day God calls us home. Because without him, there would be no us as far as the fiber of who this man was. Okay? There will be no us with the fiber who this man was. Character, morals, integrity, positive light, love in your heart, and the ability to go out and see people for who they really are. So with me saying that, I want to end with saying God bless you, Godspeed, and thank you for having me.
Right.